Hey guys, we're on Unit 5, and we're going to do Day 2. Okay. And in Unit 5, Day 2 warm-up, it says to simplify this, and it should look like it is from Day 1. And the first thing I notice is this little tiny 4 outside of the parentheses that group the entire fraction. And so hopefully you know from Day 1 that we're going to have to use that multiple times. Okay. If you look at top, there is a numerical base and 2 variable bases. Both of those, or all 3 of those, I should say, will get raised to the 4th power. And on the bottom, we have a numerical base of 2 and 3 variable bases. And so we'll have to use that little 4 exponent on all 4 of those on the bottom as well. So we're going to be using this little 4 7 times. So here we go. All right, so first up, we're going to have to take 3 and raise it to the 4th power. Then we're going to take y to the 6th and raise it to the 4th power. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take z to the negative 3 and raise that to the 4th power. Okay. On the bottom, we're going to take 2 and raise it to the 4th power. We're going to take x to the negative 5th and raise it to the 4th power. We're going to take y cubed and raise it to the 4th power. And we're going to take z to the negative 2nd and raise it to the 4th power. Okay. Take your calculator, type in 3 to the 4th, which is really 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and we're going to end up with 81. Okay. Remember our rule from Day 1 that when you have an exponent raised to an exponent, you multiply them and you end up with y to the 24th. Okay. Same thing here. You got an exponent raised to an exponent, and so we're going to multiply them again, and we're going to get z to the negative 12th. Okay. On the bottom, take your calculator, type in 2 to the 4th, which is really 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. Okay. And then we have that same rule from up above. We have an exponent raised to an exponent. Your job is to remember to multiply them, and you get x to the negative 20. Okay. And again, that's an exponent raised to an exponent. You multiply them, and you get y to the 12th. Okay. And one last time, that's an exponent to an exponent. You're going to multiply them, and you're going to get z to the negative 8. All right. So the only thing we don't like about this is the negative exponents. Okay. Directions don't say to use positive exponents, but we are going to practice that. All right. So anybody with a negative exponent is going to get crossed off and moved. Okay. Starting with z to the negative 12th. We're going to cross him off. Where can he go? He can go to the bottom. When he goes to the bottom, he becomes a positive 12. Okay. On the bottom, we have x to the negative 20th, and so we're going to move him to the top where he's going to become x to the positive 20th. Okay. Y to the 12th is fine where he is, but this z to the negative 8, we're going to cross him off, and we're going to move him to the top where he becomes z to the positive 8. Okay. In the next step, we're going to go ahead and clean this all up. All right, so first thing I'm going to check, does 81 divide by 16? Does that simplify? If you're not sure, okay, or you don't know the number that goes into both of them, you can check your calculator. Type in 81 divided by 16, hit enter. Probably going to get a long decimal. Okay. Math bracket, and if it goes right back to 81 over 16, then we know that that's as low as it goes, and we're going to keep it 81 over 16. And it does not simplify. There is no number that goes in 81 and 16 besides 1. Okay. All right, so on top, I'm going to go ahead and look for alphabetical order. I'm going to look for my x's, and I only see one x to the 20th. So he has nobody to combine with. So we're going to go ahead and keep him x to the 20th. Next up, I'm going to look for my y, which I see y to the 24th. And then I see z to the 8th. All right, on the bottom next to the 16th, I don't have any x's, right? I do have a y, and it's y to the 12th. And I do have a z, and it's also z to the 12th. All right, the only thing I have left to do is see if there's anybody with the same exact base that could be simplified further. And you can see that there's a y on top and a y on the bottom. They're going to simplify, okay? And z's are also on top and bottom. So we're going to go ahead and simplify. And this is going to become, we're going to keep our 81 over 16. In fact, I'm going to use this as my fraction bar. All right, so I got 81 over 16. The x to the 20th, there's nobody like him, and so he's going to stay x to the 20th, nobody to simplify him with. Okay? But then I have these y's. And if you think about the difference between 24 and 12, okay, subtract them, there's 12. But where would y to the 12th be? Well, think about where are there more y's right now? There's more y's on the top, and so the y to the 12th, the difference will be left on top. So we'll say y to the 12th. And we got to look at one more set of variables, which are the z's. Okay, think about the difference between 8 and 12. There's a difference of 4. Okay, if you subtract them, you'll get a -4, and then you got to move that, which is kind of a pain. Or you could just think, hey, there's more z's on the bottom, so the difference of z to the 4th will be left on the bottom. And this is our final answer. Okay, all right, we're going to practice some more exponent properties on day 2, so I will see you guys there.